So, you want to build an awesome complete race engine. Where do you even start? You start from the beginning. So first there were dinosaurs. Then they died. And then there was a lot of oil. And the oil sheikhs came and they drove Mercedes. And yeah, if you get that reference, you're awesome. But yeah, so fast forward a little bit. 1st of October 2016, I'm at a Rallycross FIA World Rallycross race in Latvia. I'm working there on Rico Taco's car, so we've sold him, and yeah, worked with him also to build a billet engine block for the 4B11T engine, which they're using other components for to put that Rallycross engine together. I'm there tuning the ECU for them, so yeah, boost control, temperature control, anti-lag stuff, flat shift things, of course the normal tuning process also, but mostly I'm working on getting the launch control set up properly, so that's what they had the biggest problems with previously. And yeah, they even had previously, I think they said 2 or 3 turbochargers had been destroyed on the launch control system, waiting for the start of the heats. And yeah, they had the snap shafts and completely written off turbochargers, so really bad. And yeah, so this is, I mean, just really quickly go through some of the details here, so you guys that don't know me yet will get some kind of a clue on how sort of nitty-picky I am about details and want to understand things. So you want the engine to run smoothly, of course. If you have lots of fluctuations, then that creates big problems, so both for the airflow, for the fueling, for the engine mapping, and also for huge torque peaks in the turbochargers. You can end up breaking shafts and stuff like that. So you want to get the turbocharger running smoothly, and that means the engine needs to run smoothly also. And then you need to be able to load, so to preload the engine and suspension and everything with the clutch pedal while you're holding the brake for launch control system. And yeah, you can see that in the video here. So as you saw there, you basically see the car moving a little bit, and that doesn't mean like that the driver is on the launch control and like feeling out where the clutch is. He's holding the brakes hard with the handbrake. Throttle is fully open. Well, the ECU controls the actual gas pedal, the actual throttle opening, but the gas pedal is full open, and the driver is preloading the suspension and the drivetrain heavily with the clutch, and the anti-lag system, or in this case the launch control system, needs to be able to cope with this and maintain the engine running smoothly. Because if the engine is not running smoothly, it's starting to bang backwards and forwards, and that will create big problems, and you can't preload the suspension in that case. And yeah, once you can load the preload the suspension and get everything working, you have the correct wheel angles and stuff like that they do, and you have a driver that is good on the reaction times and knows how to do that, then yeah, the end result is, I think, the worst launch he had during the whole season, when yeah, nothing broke on the car, was basically being even into the first corner, and the best starts, yeah, Rico Taco was like a whole car length in front, basically into the first corner. That's a huge advantage in Rallycross, where it's very heavily start dependent. So yeah, that's something I worked on there and made happen. But yeah, back to our Thor engine and how this relates to all of that. So I got a message from Aki. He runs the Rada.com events here in Finland, so that's the time attack and drifting races here. Finns would know him as Akinaattori, but that doesn't translate to English, so he'll just have to be Aki. And yeah, he was like, okay, we have Sami and Mika are going over to World Time Attack in Sydney to race there, and Aki was heading over there with a friend also and asked if I wanted to come along. I thought, okay, I mean, we had a guy there ask about a billet engine maybe for a Porsche engine in Australia. I remember that, like, okay, maybe there would be some business case here, and we had some other customers there also previously that I thought we could stop by and say hi to also. That was also a little bit related to the billet 4B11T engine block that we had running and testing and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, it sounds like a good idea, but yeah, we'll need to fix everything. I need to get passport and figure out the costs and all of this. So something to think about there while I was swiping along on Tinder on the evenings there in Latvia. So yeah, and a pro tip for everyone: if you want some like very easy, very high quality Tinder game stuff, go to Latvia or Thailand. And Thailand is a little bit different. I'll leave that to you guys to figure out how they're different. Oh my god. Visa application to Australia, or it's called e-visitor. It's a visa, but it's not called that. Politics, who knows? Yeah, so waited for that, looked on everything else. While we were waiting on that, sent a message over to this Rod guy from Australia, and okay, yeah, I'm maybe heading over to World Time Attack to check that out. Like, if you're in the Sydney area during that time, somewhere around that, I could probably stop over and we can talk about the engine and the block and what you might need for that. So yeah, I got a reply from him that, oh yeah, well, I will actually be at World Time Attack, so super, yeah, just stop by and say hello. I was like, oh, excellent. Like, okay, maybe I need to head over there. So yeah, fast forward a few days, and so this is on the morning when Aki and his friend have their flight booked late evening. And yeah, I wake up like, oh, still don't have a visa, like this isn't looking good. Open my email. Oh, now I have a visa, super. So now I have a small amount of hours, and during that time I need to book the flight, pack, get all the business stuff set up here with Axel, who is running all the machines here. So I mean, he can manage stuff, but if there is a computer that needs booting or setting up or something, we need to check that he has all the passwords and all of that stuff. So needed to get all that done, like running around like crazy getting everything working, and luckily there were flights available still at a good price. And yeah, so on the evening, wait, what day was that? That was the 11th October. So yeah, headed over to the airport, like really completely wasted from the whole day, like running around like crazy getting things done. But yeah, made it to the airport, got on the plane, 26.5 hours of travel to get to Sydney in one go. Yeah, the last time I did that, but I mean, it was okay, just I was super tired when I got there. So get out of the airplane, you're like, oh, the sun is kind of low on the horizon, but wait, is it morning or evening here? Because you've been traveling for 26 hours, and before that, so it was awake a whole day, like the whole day before that. And there's also 9 hours, I think, or something like that, of a time difference. So like completely messed up on where you are and what's happening or anything like that. But yeah, got there and headed over to the racetrack. So I did, of course, know about World Time Attack before I got there, because I mean, it is the highest level time attack race in the world, and probably the highest level sort of with open technical regulations, this sort of circuit racing event. So yeah, I've had heard of that, but it was a much nicer and bigger event than what I anticipated, and of course didn't know anything. So went over there and like, yes, like, hello, is it okay to be here? Can I talk to someone? And like going to the pit garages, like standing on the edge of the line there, like, hi, excuse me, like I think I messaged with someone like here, like could I speak to someone, and how is this? And then like no, I don't, yeah, who am I, yeah, I don't know, like who's what person, like who should I be talking to? And this is like, yeah, really difficult. Of course, I mean, yeah, quickly realized how like open and friendly the atmosphere over there is, and super nice event, so highly recommended to everyone. But yeah, got talking to Rod there and followed the event. I mean, it looks so good there. Huge crowds over there, lots of different businesses. They're promoting their products and services, and and yeah, having really nice stands there, and yeah, what is it, midday mayhem, I believe it's called. Their sort of a break show while the competitors take a race, and the crews have a lunch break and stuff like that that man the track. So it's really, really well thought out and super event. And yeah, even met Ian over there also, that yeah, owns the World Time Attack stuff. So really nice stuff, and a super good guy, and really nice to meet him. And yeah, so we spent the event there, got some pictures, spoke to Rod a little bit, and yeah, they managed to get second place that year in 2016. So really super nice position for that, and really nice effort from the PR Tech team and all the people involved in doing the aerodynamics and the suspension and the yeah, gearbox stuff, engine building and ECU things, and like everything is like really top level team basically building everything there. And yeah, so after the event we headed over to the PR Tech what are they, garage shop, something like that, their business place basically, with sat down there with Rod Pobistek, so the RP of the RP968, the owner, manager, technical director, basically. He has the final say on everything, of course, because he's paying the bills also, and he knows everything about the car, and it's his whole idea. So yeah, sat down with him and Richard, who is the yeah, owner manager, I think, of PR Tech. So he's the yeah, super knowledgeable guy there about engine building and car building, and really good at solving problems quickly and efficiently. So sat down with those guys and thought about the engine and what they actually need for that. So Rod had messaged us about the engine block and what they need for that. So yeah, we started by looking at the engine block there, and of course, I mean, being circuit racing, weight is really important. Yeah, you guys will know that if you watched our ER8 the Tick series so far, so stay up to date on that. But yeah, weight is super important on the engine, and power, of course, also, and I mean, price and size, of course, are also very important things. So I mean, all of these things we were discussing and seeing how to get the best possible package. And yeah, also discussed a little bit and understood that, okay, they had been building the car over multiple years and sort of improving things, and then they need to improve something else to get more potential out of that. And of course, I mean, even before the 2016 race, Rod is already thinking ahead to 2017 and beyond to get the engine built up, because that was I think their sort of last factory-based component that was currently holding them back. Of course, I mean, the PR Tech guys had done an awesome job on extracting the maximum out of the factory Porsche engine. So they had even flipped the cylinder head around the other way to get the exhaust manifold over to the left side of the car, where there was more space for a turbocharger to get the packaging better in the engine bay. And I mean, they had really gone all out on building that factory Porsche engine. But yeah, looking at those Porsche components, I mean, I knew we could get so much more performance, and so like optimize the weight and everything so much more if we did a complete engine. So then we're not constrained by the factory cylinder head or the factory head gasket. And yeah, we can design the engine completely to be full dry sump, so there's no like having a wet sump system underneath and having this like, yeah, wide area here where you like extract oil from the bottom. That creates these huge problems of oil swirling around and creating both oil foaming, and you're not extracting the oil as efficiently either from the crankcase. And so like designing it fully for dry sump system from the get-go. Also, yeah, removing stuff that we don't need, so deleting the balance shaft, the balance shaft locations that the factory Porsche engine has. For instance, the cylinder head also, so pushing the bore size out as much as possible on the engine block. There's a lot of space to do that without increasing the exterior dimensions. Of course, not easy to do, but doable. So yeah, there's always the cost of doability, so to say, but yeah, we're reasonably good at doing that, I think. But anyway, so yeah, pushing the bore out, we could run larger valves also on the cylinder head. And that means, I mean, the larger the valves you can run in relation to the displacement of the engine, That means you can run it at higher RPM and get more power and lesser weight, sort of relatively speaking also. So that is of course something we wanted to do. And yeah, I said, okay, I mean, if we do this whole package, then you're not going to be stuck like by being limited by a factory head gasket or something like that down the road and wanting to upgrade the cylinder head. And especially, I mean, concerning like how much manual work they had to do on the cylinder head to flip that around and get everything to work without having vapor pockets in the cooling system and all this stuff. I mean, they had solved all of this, but it's still a lot of work. And of course, for motorsports, you always want to have a spare engine and blah, 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 so forth and so on. So we ended up, okay, yeah, Rod was like, okay, yeah, this guy is what like things that I want for this car, like, yeah, pushing things as far as possible, but doing them as efficiently as possible also, and make that work for the whole car package as well as possible. And yeah, I was super impressed by the level also of that car, because we really, I mean, we're at Elmer Racing, we're a really small company, so we can't really afford to spend time doing projects that are not going to be to either be or have the potential to have like big visibility or be a really sort of top level, really high-end projects. And okay, I mean, these guys are serious. You have like a XF1 guy doing the aerodynamics on the car, a World Rally Championship guy, I believe, doing suspension components and things on that. Yeah, full racing sequential gearboxes on that, and carbon fiber bodywork, and really good guys over at the PR Tech team doing all the assembly and actual building work, and they're really capable at the racetrack also. So, okay, yeah, this is something we want to get involved in and invest our time in. So there are of course always some question marks when you start something as ambitious as an engine project like this, like completely out of the spec range of any OEM circuit racing engine like previously ever done. But I mean, we were reasonably sure we could make that happen. So for instance, machining capabilities, I mean, we were doing these billet merge collectors with very, very complex shapes with difficult to machine materials, so stainless steel. I mean, it's difficult to machine economically, should I say, and we were very good at that. And also engine-wise, so the cooling system is something that is very, very critical for circuit racing, of course. I mean, for drag racing, you can have a billet head. Those have been made already. I mean, for running, drag racing stuff, especially on methanol fuel, because you can use so much fuel that provides extra cooling, basically for the. So when the fuel evaporates, that cools down the airflow, and that provides cooling for the cylinder head, also, and the intake manifold, of course. And you're only running a few seconds at full power, so that helps a lot. But for circuit racing, you need to have actual cooling on the engine, and at that time there were no 4-valve billet circuit racing cylinder heads at all. So we would be doing the first one, and of course that's always a question mark. Like, okay, like how many problems are there going to be with this or not? But we had done this 8-valve, 8-port mini cylinder head. Before that, we had tested, of course, also. This was the first part, actually, that we started developing and testing and using, of course, I mean, as testing for our machining capabilities also back in 2011 when we started our company. And so this is the first part we started doing. So the intake and exhaust ducting are, of course, super, super complicated shapes there, and difficult to machine. We figured out how to do that and set that up to do that efficiently, and also tested some stuff with the cooling, and we're okay. I mean, we can run the engine for half an hour, 1 hour, of course. I mean, not at full power during our testing, but we're confident that okay, I mean, we have some kind of data, and we know a little bit about what kind of restrictions there are and how difficult it is going to be. Of course, a 4-valve head is probably order of magnitude more difficult than a 2-valve head, but yeah, I mean, we still were okay. I mean, we can figure probably out things on how to make this happen. So I mean, that was by far the biggest question mark, but I thought, yeah, we could probably do this. And as Rod would say, I mean, everything is a risk doing race car stuff. So yeah, I mean, he's fully aware also, and we discussed, okay, yeah, this is a risk worth taking, because if you don't take any risks, you're not making any progress either. So you have to take risks, but you want to sort of optimize them. And yeah, I think I had a super good understanding on that, and packed up our stuff basically from Australia after that. I mean, we visited some other customers, and of course hanged out at the beach a little bit and stuff like that also. But yeah, packed up our stuff and started heading back to Finland. So we took a few stops on the way back to Finland, and yeah, once I got back here to Finland, we started discussing a little bit more about the specs, and going back and forth a little bit on what specific things we'll do and how to build this together, because we were already then when we decided like concretely and actually going forward with it, I think we were in January, something like that, 2017, and the yeah, race, the World Time Attack is once per year for those that don't know, and that's in October, mid-October. So we already have a really tight time schedule. So a complete engine from scratch in 9 months, and that's including the design. So not just building it, but like designing it, manufacturing the components, building it, testing it, getting it ready to run and to the race in 9 months. That's completely unheard of. But that will have to wait till next episode, and you won't have to wait for long though, because it's coming out 5/6/2020, so 5th of 6th April, June. So 5th of June 2020. These months are difficult. Anyway, we'll be going through the design and manufacturing process then. So are we going to be able to push 9 months and actually have an engine ready for World Time Attack or not? We'll see. That will like unravel in the next episode. And I mean, yeah, there are ups and downs and lots of late nights, of course, to be expected. So interesting stuff. And yeah, if you like, if you dislike, leave a dislike, please. So that, yeah, feedback helps. Please leave comments. What was good, what was bad, what do you want more information on? Yeah, just comments, suggestions, whatever kind of feedback you want to leave, please go ahead on that. And of course, I mean, highly appreciated if you share it, post about it to your followers, maybe something like that. I'm assuming you guys know all about Thor and what has happened, and what the specs for the engine are and stuff like that. But consider maybe not spoiling it for other people that you want to bring in, because this is going to be a story series going through the different steps, and there are ups and downs, and it kind of spoils it maybe a little bit if you know the end already. But I don't know. I mean, we're super appreciative if you share it, spoiler or not. So please do that anyway. Much appreciated. And yeah, thanks for watching till the end. I'm Oscar from Elmer Racing, and this was episode 1 about our Thor the story. See you next one.